He was a polymath, skilled in various branches of knowledge.
Al-Khwarizmi, whose name gave birth to the language of modern technology, reminds us that true and lasting power.
This man is Muhammad ibn Musa al-Khwarizmi, who, approximately 1200 years ago, sat in the Baytul Hikmah in Baghdad.
This 9th century intellectual should not merely be considered a mathematician. He was an epoch maker.
Al-Khwarizmi gifted us algebra and algorithmic thinking, two concepts without which modern science and technology are unimaginable.
His life and work stand as a shining testament to the scientific excellence of the Muslim civilization of that era.
Al-Khwarizmi's most far-reaching and timeless contribution lies within his famous treatise, Kitab al-Jabr wal-Muqabala Filama.
The very word algebra is derived directly from the first term in this book's title, Al-Jabr.
This Arabic term literally signifies restoration or reintegration, referring to the mathematical problem. Conversely, the second term, al-muqabala, means confrontation or balancing, which involves canceling. Prior to Al-Khwarizmi, mathematics was primarily a blend of Greek geometry and Indian arithmetic. But Al-Khwarizmi demonstrated that algebra could be transformed into a universal language for dealing with unknown quantities.
Crucially, he did not just classify these types, he formulated specific, methodical rules for solving them.
A significant point to note is that symbolic mathematics had not yet developed during his time. This rhetorical foundation later became the indispensable groundwork upon which the development of symbolic algebra in Europe rested.
His innovative methods were not merely theoretical exercises. They were born out of the practical necessities of society. With the expansion of the Muslim Empire, there was an acute need for accurate mathematical solutions in areas such as
When this work reached Europe through translations in the 10th and 11th centuries, it began to break the stagnation of European.
If algebra is the structure of the modern mathematical framework, then the algorithm is the very soul of modern technology.
Astonishingly, the word algorithm itself is directly derived from Al-Khwarizmi's name.
This is no coincidence. It is the ultimate recognition of his systematic way of thinking.
When European scholars translated Al-Khwarizmi's mathematical works into Latin, they used the Latinized form of his name. This term gradually became synonymous with a structured, step-by-step method for problem solving. This sequential logic forms the basis of all modern technology today.
For instance, when an AI model analyzes complex data to make a decision, it follows the systematic principles laid down by Al-Khwarizmi.
In modern life, whether we use Google Maps to find our way, or when a social media platform,
His contribution was not limited to just a word or concept. It gave birth to a new form of rational thinking.
Al-Khwarizmi served as the crucial connector who detailed the decimal system and the concept of zero.
His book on arithmetic, although its original Arabic manuscript is lost, allowed the Hindu Arabic numeral.
In Arabic, sifr meant empty or.
This word, sifr, was later Latinized as zephyrum and eventually evolved into our familiar.
This single number, 0, changed the course of human history.
The introduction of 0 liberated humanity from complex and inefficient systems like Roman numerals.
This was indispensable for commerce, banking, engineering, and particularly for the complex calculations required in astronomy.
A numbering system could now express any quantity, from the minute to the vast, precisely and quickly using the same few symbols. This was indispensable for commerce, banking, engineering, and particularly for the complex calculations required in astronomy. 0 allowed mathematicians to construct scientific models and perform calculations on a large scale for the first time. It was a revolutionary change for science, economics, and engineering, serving as the ultimate catalyst. Al-Khwarizmi was not, however, limited to mathematics alone. His genius shone equally brightly in astronomy and cartography.
He was a polymath, skilled in various branches of knowledge.
Under the patronage of the Caliph al-Ma'mun in Baghdad, he undertook the correction of the ancient geographical works of Ptolemy.
He created the most accurate map of the Earth known in his time.
For this task, he used complex mathematical methods to determine the Earth's latitude and longitude.
All these works prove that Al-Khwarizmi was not merely a theoretical mathematician, he was an applied scientist who His astronomical tables were utilized by astronomers across the Muslim world and later in Europe for centuries. The context for all of Al-Khwarizmi's achievements was the Golden Age of the Abbasid Caliphate. The caliphs prioritized scholarship above all else and established the Baytul Hikmah.
Here, a vast number of scholars were employed to translate important scientific and philosophical works.
During this era, scholars enjoyed immense social status and financial patronage.
Where once the finest minds, like Al-Khwarizmi, were born and pioneered new scientific paths, today the number of Nobel laureate scientists is negligible.
But sadly, that position no longer exists today.
Where once the finest minds, like Al-Khwarizmi, were born and pioneered new scientific paths.
This stark contrast prompts deep reflection. How did a civilization that once stood at the zenith of knowledge? History bears witness that whenever Muslims pursued knowledge, they led the world. Al-Khwarizmi, whose name gave birth to the language of modern technology, reminds us that true and lasting power.
Today, there is an urgent need for the revival of that thirst for knowledge.
To truly honor the legacy of men like Al-Khwarizmi, merely uttering his name is not enough. We must return to the path he showed.
Reroute the primary matrix. We need full convergence before the zenith.
We must realize that only through fundamental scientific research can we once again reach the center.